Happy Thursday. We're back.
Hey, how's it going? How was your week?
Pretty good. It was kind of busy, my man. Did some construction, some side jobs, some video. Man, it's just been everywhere this week. It's been crazy. How about yours, brother?
It's been busy between work, and then I finished up a job yesterday, so didn't work today, and market's been all over the place. But yeah, it's been a week.
It has been a week. That's for damn sure. So, hey, Wild Angel, good to have you up. Welcome, Chrome, my man. I think Cyril after the show is going to have some words with you, buddy. So
he already knows.
Okay.
I DM'd him.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And BTK, yes, rags to riches, buddy. It's time, my man. Dave5 says, Max loves. Love you, Dave5. Thank you, brother. And Dave, I hope you got to check out some of that Day by Daylight with Chucky, man. The doll was awesome.
And I see the new individual that I have invited to watch our streams.
Awesome. And nice haircut, by the way, Cyril.
Oh.
And Sinner Fud Fighter. Hey, welcome to the show, buddy. Glad to have you with us.
Hey, Sinner.
If I says, what up, friends? So, yeah, it's like you said, Cyril, it's been a crazy week. Now, once again, the market's decided to bleed to death middle of the day today. What in the hell is with that?
I told you it's Thursdays, man. They know that we do our show on Thursdays and that I see how our portfolio is doing right before the show. Usually you're doing the countdown as I'm sitting there updating the prices and our holdings and everything like that last second to keep it as accurate as possible so we can all see what we're doing. But yeah, it always wants to drop like right before our show so that, earlier in the day, we were up a bunch and, then we're, whatever we're at. We will find out.
So I've got some good detailed questions for you specifically about that. But hey, welcome, Funny Toro. Good to have you here. And Sinner, man, happy to be here. We're happy to have you with us, brother. So it's going to be a good time. Okay, Cyril. So I'm going to change the game plan a little bit on you, brother, because I've been trying to buy crypto at a lower price and then sell it. I need some guidance, brother. We need to learn how to look at these charts just a little bit. So we have some ideas like, am I going to buy today and it crashes tomorrow? Can we do anything like that? Can we fit something like that in?
Well, we can actually, and you're in luck because it just so happens that I have material prepared. And I just want to point out that, let's see, today, everything was dropping today, right? And that actually works out well for some of the patterns that I want to showcase here today. Because you've heard us talk about, trading, the charts, patterns, candle movement, things like that. But, there's a lot of people out there who don't necessarily know what that means. So we're going to take a look at it today.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, because I'm tired of buying at the top and all of a sudden it crashes next. It's like, are you serious? And not going to lie, sir, I have tried doing a little bit of trading on some other practice accounts. Some were like, oh, throw $10 at it, see what happens. Oh, hey, look, it's gone. So, yeah, I need some guidance. I need some pointers, need some tips. So let's do it, brother.
All right. Well, I got my screen share set up. So there we go. All right. You may have to let me see if I can full screen this. Is it going to share it if I full screen it? Yes, it is. All right, cool.
I can do that. Remove us.
Huh?
I said I can remove us, but
oh, I mean, that works too. Either way, I just want to make sure people can see. All right, so this is a pattern that you may have seen a bunch of times and not even realize that you've seen it, right? It's called a diamond top or bottom pattern, and it basically means reversal is coming, right? And so, because there's some patterns that are bullish patterns by nature and some patterns that are bearish by nature. And there's also those in-between patterns that can mean both. The diamond is one of those. And it generally indicates a local top or a local bottom when you see this pattern arrive. And we're going to first, to identify it, you draw out your trend lines, right? Now, the important thing to note is that trend lines must have 3 touches. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right here. So you have to have 3 touches before it becomes a trend line that you can draw. You can try to start drawing it off of 2, but it's not going to be accurate. So like with this guy right here, you know, if we tried to start drawing from this one, we would get our 3 touches right there. As a really, there we go. And so that's a little trend line that we can draw. But you got to have those 3 touches. So how do you trade a diamond top or bottom? It's actually quite simple. You're going to measure how tall the diamond is. And then you're going to, when it breaks either up and out, if this is a diamond bottom, or it breaks down because it's a diamond top, you're going to add that measurement. And Deck Screener has this really cool little thing where you can, when you draw the line, you can click on the 3 dots and you can clone it. Okay. And then it will just make an exact copy that's the same height. And you just go and put it right there at the breakout. And you know that this is the target. Now, what's interesting is that is pretty in line with the support level that we see here. Now, just for your information, if this is my target, I'm in a short on this, I would probably actually take profit like here, right? You're not guaranteed for it to go the full distance. So,
gotcha. Okay. Now, on this triangle, is there a certain time frame you have to utilize these above? Like, does this work on 30 minutes or what?
So you can do them on the 30 minutes. I highly recommend that you don't really trade with anything lower than the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily charts, those are ones that it's going to be a lot more likely to respect patterns. When you're on real short-term charts and real short time frames, you can have a singular news event that completely wrecks whatever pattern you're looking at, right? Because it's such a zoomed in view, you lose sight of the macro. So I recommend the 1 hour chart, the 4 hour chart, and the daily chart. And that's where you should be looking for the patterns that you're wanting to trade.
Okay. Now, let me ask you real quick, Cyril, because one thing that I know I've run into trying to learn this stuff is as far as, because of course I'm trying to do leverage trading to make a little bit extra gains, but I really don't understand the multiplier versus time frame I should be running with. So like if I'm running on a 30-minute, what's the max multiplier I want? 1 hour, same thing. Can you give us some insight into that?
Yeah, so that's going to entirely depend on your risk appetite. You know, there's no like golden rule for that. What you're going to be looking at is, am I at the perfect position? If the answer is no, you're not going to want to use like full max high mode leverage, right? You want to give it breathing room, because the more leverage you're using, the less breathing room you've got. And I do highly recommend, if you're new to this, start off with spot trading, because you can do that, right? You can just go down to quick swap. You can buy yourself some Matic with USDC, you know, when you see a diamond bottom, you know, and then you can sell it, you know, when it starts going up. And you're going to have a lot more breathing room doing it with spot, because like we talked about last episode, you still own the asset, right? It doesn't matter if it goes up, if it goes down, you still have the asset. It's not like leverage trading where if it goes down too far, it margins your account and you lose the money that you got, right?
Right.
So if you are interested in learning to trade, you can either start with a demo account or you can just do spot. That way you're still making some money in the process.
Okay, sounds good. And so, I mean, if somebody's just getting in and say spot doesn't have enough risk to it, and they want to start doing the trading, what's the max leverage you would say, like 2% or 5 or 10, or what's a good safe entry point if they go from spot to the next level?
It's going to depend on the size of their account. I know you're trying to look for like numbers and specifics, but I can't give that to you because it's going to be entirely dependent on what does your portfolio look like. Are you trying to use cross margin? Are you using, you know, standalone margin? Like, what are you doing, right?
Okay.
So if you guys do have questions about this, feel free to hop in the Discord, as he's going to post the link below.
Yes, I am.
Sorry, I figured you'd be more on the ball with this.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited, man. This is cool stuff because, yeah, like I said, I've been trying to do this and trying to learn it, and I'm getting a feel for it. But one thing I ran into for me personally, Cyril, is I tried the demo account, and I couldn't take it seriously enough. I think it's because there was no risk involved. And so my mind just couldn't say, this is important. It's like, yeah, whatever, it's monopoly money. So when I actually put money on the line, for me, at least personally, that makes me pay attention. That makes me care. And I think for my particular learning style, I'm not saying it's right. It seems to be more, it cements it more in my brain of what do's and don'ts.
The irony of that is that you actually want to treat your demo accounts like they're real, and you want to treat your real account like it's a demo account.
Huh? Okay, explain that one to me.
What's the number one thing that all new traders struggle with? Come on, I've said it before. Somebody type it in the chat.
Come on. Somebody help me out here, guys. Come on. I know you're paying attention.
While we give them a second to answer that, let's take a look at this pattern right here.
Yes.
So this is what is known as a cup and handle. I wound up doing a little highlighter here so you can kind of see the movement, but it's going to be indicated. You're going to have a peak on the left side. It's going to come on down. There's usually some form of little spike up in the middle of the cup. Then it's going to go back up, which was this really tall wick right here. Pardon my poor drawing abilities. And then it goes back down and forms a handle, right? Okay. So you got a cup and handle here. And everyone, I'm sure you've heard the phrase cup and handle before, right? You know, you can't really exist in the space and not have heard of it. It's one of the most common chart patterns. But let's talk about how you actually trade it. So you measure the depth of the cup. So you're going to go to the bottom of the candles. You're going to measure up to the neckline, or the lip line in the case of a cup and handle. I just call it the neckline. And then you're going to add that amount, that depth, to the breakout point. And that becomes your take profit.
Okay.
So you see how it did continue going up past that? So our take profit would have been right here. In my trade, I actually wound up taking profit right in this region because I always strive to get out right before the actual take profit, because I know that's where everyone else is going to try to take profit too. That goes back to and Wild Angel got the answer, by the way. It's emotional regulation.
Good girl. Congratulations.
That's why you treat your demo accounts as real, right? Because you want to get that out of your system. You want to take it seriously. You want to feel that little flutter in your stomach when the numbers are going up, and you want to feel that dread when the numbers are going down. You want to let yourself experience that. That way, by the time you make it through the 3 demo challenge or the 3 demo account challenge, you know what to do. And then you're treating your real account like a demo account because you've done this already, right? You've made it through your 3 demo account challenge, and now you're doing it for real. You're done with the emotions. You already felt that. You already dealt with that. Now you're on to the actual trading, and you want to treat it like your demo account because you don't want to be sitting there being like, oh my gosh, this is money. I don't want to lose it. You want to be able to say, oh, okay, I know this. I've done this. It's no different than all the demo accounts that I just went through to get to this point. So I'm just going to trade it.
Okay. Gotcha. And that makes sense. And, you know, I don't know if it's just me. I think part of it also falls into, like I said, the emotional aspect is we know that the bull market's coming up, whether it's in 6 months, a year. We talked about this in many episodes. But it's one of those like, man, do I really have time to go through 3 demo accounts before that occurs? And I think that's one of my problems there too, is the fear of missing out.
Yeah. And that's why, just like in last episode, when I said there will always be opportunities in the market. Doesn't matter if you're waiting for a bull run and the bull run happens and then it's over. Guess what? You can trade a bear market the exact same way. Just pretend the chart's upside down and do shorts instead, right? You know, it's going to follow the same patterns. It's going to follow the same movements. I mean, when I first learned to trade, and I was trading in Forex, it was on gold, and gold was in a bear market. It was coming down off its high of 1,900 per ounce, and it was going all the way down to 1,100 per ounce. It was a huge drop, right? For gold of all things. But that's where I was learning to trade. I was learning to trade in a bear market. In a bull market, no offense to anybody out there who may have learned to trade in the bull market, but any joker with a finger can press the button buy and just wait in a bull market, and they're going to make money, right? It's not hard. Anybody can do it. What winds up happening is then the bull market is over, and all of a sudden, all these people who thought they were guru traders suddenly start hemorrhaging money because they can't just hit buy and wait for it to go into profit. And that's when they learn and realize, oh, shit, I don't know anything, right?
Gotcha.
That's usually when they turn to selling courses.
Okay, that makes sense. If I can't do, I'll teach. Hey, that makes sense.
Yep. And that's another thing for any of you guys listening. If someone is like, oh, buy my trading course and learn how to trade and everything like that, don't do it, right? If they are selling courses, it's because, and I will publicly say this, they're a shit trader. They are. If they're selling courses, they're a shit trader. If you're a trader and you know what you're doing, you shouldn't be charging people to teach. You shouldn't be gatekeeping info like that, because trading is actually very, very simple. But a lot of these traders, they'll make it look all complicated. They'll put lines everywhere. They'll do this. They'll do that. The only time I ever put lines on my chart is if I'm trying to show somebody something. I don't trade with lines. But okay. You can see right here, I was showing someone what ETH was going to be doing. I marked an inverted cup and handle, measured the depth, and then showed you where it was going to go. And so I actually have a buy order sitting on ETH at 1840. So I'm just waiting for it to get down there.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
And then I have two more patterns to show you guys before we move to the dance off.
And Dave White says we need a short button on the deck screener that will flip the chart visually. That would be nice, because me turning over, I'm gonna get my monitor and just like flip it upside down. I was like, oh, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah, you could do that. There's actually a lot of you guys don't realize this, I don't think, but tucked away in your computer is accessibility settings. And one of the options in there is you can actually tell it to flip your screen upside down. And so then you can look at the screen upside down, just change the color of the bearish candles to green, and then do shorts and pretend you're doing buys.
Oh, see, that seems simple. I kind of like that idea. I might have to do that. And John Richter says mortgage house and invest in Andrew Tate confirmed.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, John, I love it, buddy. Good to have you here with us.
Now, we're lucky. We actually get to see two patterns back to back here on BNB. So first, we're going to talk about this one here.
Okay.
So this is what's known as a bearish pennant. And to trade this, again, we've got our trend line here. We've got our three touches. It's okay if a wick pokes out a little bit. You don't have to sit there and try to be like, right? You can have, it can poke out a little bit. That's called volatility. It happens. And we've got our trend line drawn here across the bottom. So what we do to trade this is we measure how wide is the mouth, which is the opening where the first trend lines start, right?
Okay.
Measure that. That's our green line here. We copy our green line to the breakdown point. This is our take profit. That's the measurement of this mouth here. And look at that. Our take profit was beautiful. We could have entered in a short right there. Now, it's key to know this, and we'll discuss that with this one right here because it'll be a little easier to show you. But as a new trader, you absolutely should be rolling with a stop loss, okay? Until you start having FU money in your trading account, roll with a stop loss. Just do it. Okay. So this would have been our take profit. And from there, it immediately transitions into starting the next pattern. Now, it doesn't always do that. Sometimes we'll go through periods of consolidation where it just goes sideways. But once you have your, oh, that line got moved. There we go. So this is what's known as a falling wedge. Now, when you hear the word falling, you start to think, oh, it's going down, right? And if you hear the word rising wedge, you think, oh, it's going up. But on charts, the inverse is true. If it's a falling wedge, it means that the price is very likely to go up from here. It's a pattern of reversal. A rising wedge means it's very likely to go down from here. It's a pattern of reversal. So remember that, because a lot of people will mix that up when they first get started. But same thing. From here, you're going to measure the height between the beginning of this line and the beginning of this line. You're going to measure that. You're going to add it to your breakout point. You can't see it because the candle's in the way, but it's there. And then that's your take profit. And as you can see, it was almost the top right there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So let me real quick touch on what I was talking about earlier when I say use a stop loss. So
Yes.
if you have your buy, you can use a limit order for this, right? I can calculate even before this line shows up. We're going to get that out of there. We're going to get this one and this one out of here. Let's say I'm like, all right, cool. I see the pattern. I've drawn my trend line. I've got my 3 tops that it's connected to. I can work with this, right? You're going to take your line and you would put, okay, so the price is below the line. I'm going to put a buy limit order for right here so that when it breaks out of this line, it'll trigger my buy, right? Now, you would want to put a stop loss back down inside the pattern. Usually, I like to put it just underneath where the most recent local low was prior to it breaking out. So I would put a stop loss right there. Worst case scenario, I'd be looking at losing 2.61% of whatever I'm putting into the trade. But the win, based off the calculation, we'll put that right there and we'll measure that out. Now, you remember that 2.61%? So the win is 12.48%. So you want to calculate that out prior to entering a trade. That is called your risk to reward ratio. A lot of people will refer to it as RR.
Okay.
Risk to reward ratio. I'm risking 2.61% to potentially gain 12.48%. That is a very healthy RR. And so that's a trade I would be happy to take.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, now on these trades, I'm looking at the bottom on the time frame here and I see August, September. I mean, how long do these trades run for? What's a good average trade time?
Yeah, so this chart's actually the daily chart. So yeah, this is going to be a big time frame right here. But it's worth noting when you're trading on the daily, the patterns are going to be easier to see, and you're not having to sit there constantly looking at the charts, right? You know, when you'd first be able to identify this pattern, it would have been here on October 16th. You would have set your buy limit. It wouldn't have triggered until October 21. So it wouldn't have triggered until 5 days later. And since you've already calculated this out, you already have your take profit set, because you can enter a take profit as soon as you open the position. So even a buy limit, I can put a buy limit and say, I want it to buy when it gets to $209.17. And then I'm going to enter my take profit at $241.37. And it will do all of that automatically. The only thing I do is I check it maybe once a day to see if it's triggered my buy yet. If it has, great. I'll check it again tomorrow to see if it hit my take profit yet. If no, okay, not a big deal. But what this does is it really stops one of the most common problems that new traders have. They always try to be in a trade, right? And the more trades you're entering, the higher the likelihood that you're going to lose one of them and you're going to blow your account, right?
Okay.
Because if you're not practicing proper trade management, it's very easy to lose your account in a single trade that goes against you, which is why use your stop loss, right? So trading more long-term like this, it lets you catch larger moves, right? You know, that 12.82%. Let's see, when did it hit take profit? It hit take profit. Let me see. on November 4th, sorry, 5th, November 5th. So it went from the 21st when it entered the trade of October to the 5th of November. You know, that's a solid week plus right there, right? You know, but I got 12%, 12.83% of my account right there over the course of a week and a half. So that's why I like trading on the daily, and why you should too. Why are you sitting there making constant little trades throughout the day, risking a lot for peanuts, when you could take a step back, look at a higher time frame, see very clear patterns, and it's going to respect it a lot more on the daily. Because remember, the higher the time frame, the more likely it is to respect the pattern and be influenced less by intraday news events. So it's respecting the pattern. You're able to put more into the trade because you're going to have a much better view of what it is you're trying to do, right? You know, so, okay, I might lose 2.61% of my account on this trade if I put the entire thing in, but if I put the entire thing in, then I'm gaining 12% plus, right? So, you know, it's, again, you shouldn't be trading with your whole account. I'm just using that for an example. Right. But yeah, that's if anyone has any questions about anything that we went over, drop them in the comments. But that actually concludes the patterns that I want to look at today. Maybe we'll look at some patterns next week.
Absolutely. No, I think this is great. And it's where we can really start to look at other opportunities. I mean, most times in here we talk about DeFi or blue chips, but that's really it. We don't really talk about the actions and processes in which you can interact with those, sort of just buy, hold on to, and sell, and that's it. This gives us almost a gamification to the crypto world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of the reason why futures trading is so alluring, right? Because it gives you that casino feel. But conversely, that's also why it's so dangerous, and why you really need to be careful and practice that discipline, practice that emotional control. I forget which episode. Maybe you can go back and look and pop a little link to it in the corner, but where we talked about emotional control. And that doesn't mean, you know, no emotions. It means recognize the emotion you're feeling, recognize where it comes from, and let it go, right?
Right.
You're there to make a non-emotional decision.
That's tough to do as an emotional being. It takes practice.
Right, which is why you don't want to try to stop the emotions. You're never going to stop it. You need to learn how to regulate it. You need to learn to experience it, feel it, understand where it comes from, let it go, and then, you know, make a good decision based off of the actual data, not what you feel about the situation.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's great advice. And we had a bunch of comments to roll through, so let's catch up on those before we do our dance off.
Okay.
And so Funny Turo says, TD Ameritrade just asked me to accept an acknowledgement for cryptocurrency ETF. Maybe something in the works coming out tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow is actually the last day that the SEC has to either approve or deny 12 different Bitcoin ETFs that have been applied for.
Oh, wow.
So tomorrow is going to be crazy. We're either going to see a lot of very bullish movement, or we're going to see a lot of very bearish movement.
Anybody placing bets out there today or what?
All the patterns right now are screaming bear incoming. See, I prefer not to listen to what other people are saying about the markets. The only time I check in to see what other people are saying is if I want to figure out what the general sentiment is, because that can be an indicator as well. But I look at just the charts, and the charts are telling me, hey, bear incoming. And, you know, things like just looking at the charts is how I knew back in 2019, hey, the Dow is going to go up 12 points and then it's going to drop like a lead balloon. You know, and that was before COVID even became a thing. You know, people weren't talking about it because I made that post on my Facebook. I think it was in August of 2019. But it's just the charts. That's all. That's all you really need.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. So, yeah, I'm definitely not buying anything today. And Dave White says, yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about the visual candle selection of the chart flipping right in the panel. So just shorting. Okay. I like turning my monitor upside down personally. That's just me. I can do that a lot easier. History. Is it term update? Yeah, term charge.
Term change. Okay.
Change. Sorry, my bad. That makes sense. Attempted to create a Python script to try and create a flipped cart for shorts.
And then sell it.
Exactly.
Sell it during the bull market. That way everyone can be like, ooh, I'm going to need this for when the bear market comes back.
Or you wait until just after the bull market and sell it for 3 times the price. You really need this now. Let's see. Wild Age says, DayFly, that would be cool to see. Absolutely. That would be really cool. I like that idea. Holy smokes, like the size of that coffee cup. That was a huge coffee cup, wasn't it? And it's interesting because you zoomed out so far. I'm like, you're like looking at a year of time. Whoever thinks of a year? Apparently, we need to broaden our scope in the crypto world. That's great.
Well, when you have $100,000 on a trading account, you could risk 2,600 of it to potentially make 12 grand. You're happy to wait a week for that. I mean, seriously.
Pick me. It's a good point. It's definitely a good point. And cup as big as your head is. I don't know. My head's pretty big. Yes, I do have impulse control issues. Wild Angel, I will totally agree. That is one of my worst things is impulse control. And to just stop something in the middle of feeling those emotions and walk away from it's like, yeah, nope. That is not easy. That's a challenging thing to do.
Yep.
So once some higher lows, I'm still accumulating. Fair enough.
It wouldn't surprise me if they don't approve BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF this time around, but they approve one of the smaller ones, maybe one that was a little more together with their paperwork or something, had a longer relationship with Coinbase because that's important for your ETF filing. So it wouldn't be surprised if I saw that and the charts came down and then the following month they approve it.
Okay. Interesting. So we're going to go back a month from now and play this back and see if you're right.
Hopefully I am.
Hope so. I'm guessing you have some trades to go with just that because that's what the charts are saying, right?
Maybe.
I knew I was going to get that much out of you. Funny Toro, thank you, brother. We'll catch you next time. And yeah, hopefully you don't win because as you guys know, in the dance-off, you have to DM me before the end of the stream if you're the winner. So let's bring that up, shall we?
Yes, without further ado.
Yes, I was about to say this. Like, no, I always say that. Okay, and share audio, entire screen, and audio on. Look at me go. Look at me go.
Oh, remembering the dance-off. There you go. Gotta have the audio.
And I did turn the audio on. So we had, 14 voters this time, I believe it is.
Okay.
And I repositioned myself again. Now I'm third on the list. So every time I put me in a random location just to make it fair.
You're welcome for that.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, guys. And as you guys know, and some of you may not, all you have to do is go to Down Home Crypto Discord to cast your vote. And literally, as you guys know, Rags to Riches is all about you guys are leading our journey. And we'll purchase whatever you decide on unless Cyril vetoes it or there's a reason we can't. But beyond that, yeah, definitely get in there, cast your votes, and that puts you on the list in every week's dance-off. And of course, I make a new poll every Thursday morning. So yes, the polls are open and you can vote right now. Woo! Woohoo! Hey me, look at me go. Okay, you're ready to dance who gets... Oh, by the way, if you are new, I didn't cover this part, my bad. The reason I'm on there, you see Serenity plus 10, because the winner of the dance-off gets $10 in stablecoin. But if I win, I add another $10 to the pot and we go again. And I keep adding every time I come up until somebody wins. Now, like I said in the beginning, you have to DM me on Discord before the end of the stream to receive your prize. If you wait and you're watching the recording later on and you won, well, I'm sorry. That $10 goes to next week's drawing and it just doubles the prize there and it'll keep doing that.
Yep.
Hey.
So make sure you hop in the Discord and vote. But
exactly. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big money, no Emmys. Oh, I did the grubfish.
That's not a dance off.
I clicked dance off.
How are we supposed to dance?
Okay.
Oh,
I can fix that. See, the great thing. Okay. anywhere to continue. Standard Twitch. Standard.
Yeah. You gotta do the dance off, not the Grubfish Royale.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I clicked the wrong thing. Teach me to click without looking where I'm clicking at. I thought I had my mouse set. Okay. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
That's why we can't have nice things.
I mean, it wouldn't be a stream without a little bit. Oh, Rose.
Rose, I'm so sorry, dear. And Chrome. Chrome, after what Cyril was saying about you earlier, you probably deserve it. So, sorry, buddy.
Hey, it's not Chrome's fault, to be fair.
This is true. That's true. Oh, and Rebel and John, you guys are both down.
Oh, Day 5 barely missed you, Serenity.
I know it was close. I was hoping to get me. It's like, hit me. Like, damn it.
BDK's over there spazzing out. Or wait, I guess he's on this side. There we go. Oh, wow.
Oh, there we go. Damn. Sorry, guys. It's only $10 this week. Oh, BTK. Man, you're kind of close, buddy. Cheetos. Oh, Sand Wars.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Sand Wars 86. Shoot me a DM in the Discord and send me your wallet address and also a screenshot to verify that that DM is actually you. So take a screenshot of like your YouTube account where you're watching this stream so I can see your identity just to verify it's me. Okay?
Congratulations.
Oh, done. Okay. Let me close that because I can still hear the music. There we go. Okay.
I can too.
I can too. Make it stop, please. It's conflicting with the voices in my head. I feel the same way. JC, good to have you with us, buddy. And so, yeah, BTK is like, whew. You were close, man. You were dodging blades left and right. That was insane.
Yeah, he got his workout.
Yeah, no kidding. And, man, you got some moves. I'll give you that. You were shaking it. Okay, so now we hit that point in time. Now, as we talked about before, Thursday started off great. Looked awesome. I mean, everything was up. It was looking great. And then, of course, about 12:30, 1 o'clock hit and everything. Plane wreck. Yep. What the hell? For God's sake. So, Cyril, give us some bad news. How bad does it hurt?
Actually, not that bad. Let's take a look. Okay. So last week, we started off with $685.25. This week, we ended with $673.29, or a loss of $11.96, or 1.78%. So we lost significantly less at that 1.78% than the markets did today, realistically, because the markets are down 3.9%. Matic's down 8.37%, so we actually did rather well.
Interesting. Okay, so what's our saving grace here, buddy? How is it that we are not taking the big black eye like the rest of the market is?
So a lot of that has to do with, timing, because we are DCAing into the markets, right? If we had bought today or we bought yesterday instead of like we do on our Thursdays, if we bought yesterday, we would be down that 3.8%. But because we've been DCAing in instead of making all of our buy in one spot, it affects us a lot less.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's something else I was going to ask you, and my brain just shut off. Could have been too important, I guess. Or if so, I'll figure it out later.
We can see the growth here. I actually need to make the chart taller because now we have broken out of that $600 ceiling. We smashed right through it. We are on our way. Let's take a look at our spot holdings. They're doing pretty well. Our BNB, and we got our C Gold here, is now a pretty large chunk because the last 3 weeks, everyone's voted on adding C Golds to our DeFi wallet. So we have our hedge against the dollar right there. We have a decent amount of Matic, which has, when we first started this and first started buying Matic, I want to say it was in like the 40-cent region, something like that. Might have been 50 cents. Either way, so our Matic bag as a whole, yes, we've been DCAing up periodically when everyone votes for Matic, but we've been DCAing, so instead of buying it all now or yesterday and then being down 3% or buying it all, during the bull market, that's the power of DCA.
Absolutely. And now, sir, let me take away that chart. Let's talk about that for a quick secure. Because one thing I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of Only Burns, seeing a lot of Sea Gold, and a lot of BNB and Mac. I mean, those four essentially. Are we diversified enough, or do we need to say, okay, no more Sea Gold for right now, no more? Do we need to put some of these on the list of do not vote for, or what are your feelings on that?
Yeah, so I think as we continue to add more money, right? If we periodically shut off, voting for a certain protocol once they're a percentage of the account, right? Then that means the other ones will kind of start to fill that out. Now, I don't want to take away too much power from the people, right? Because, fight the power and all of that. But we do want to make sure we have a healthy portfolio. And so there may be some times where I have to say, all right, everybody, okay, you had your fun. You got to vote for Sea Gold 3 weeks in a row, right? It, made life a little easier, less bridging transactions for me to make. Freaking Polygon gas was 64 cents today. It was insane.
That's nuts.
Yeah. I like 0.7 Matic for a single simple swap transaction. I was like, you know what? Maybe we don't need to buy it that bad right now. But so yeah, I think just like we put Only Burns on the you're not allowed to vote for it list for a little while, we're gonna put Sea Gold on that list too, right? We got to give other wedges time to fill out. BNB, I think we have a pretty solid amount of that, but you have to remember a good chunk of that came from profit that we made. And it's money that we chose to keep as the stable instead of reinvesting. Well, not the stable, the chain native.
There you go.
A good decision, because when that decision was made, BNB was chilling at around, I think, like $3 or not $3. I wish.
Yeah, that'd be great.
$212, $213, something like that. So that was good. We're doing all right with that.
And a lot of the consensus still shows that BNB is still undervalued right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's where I sit with it personally. A lot of other people feel that way too, because had it kept up with the other cryptos, we'd actually be seeing it right now chilling around like $280, $285. Because the other cryptos, since this mini pump began, they moved a certain percentage, and BNB has not. And generally, cryptos, especially chain natives, they'll stay correlated with each other. They'll all go up a similar percentage. They'll all go down a similar percentage. It's just the way it is. And BNB hasn't. And that's due to the SEC currently in lawsuits with them and suing them and trying to put the boot down. But remember, fight the power. So they're being double suppressed right now from the bear market and from the SEC's litigations.
Okay. And now let me ask you real quick on that. So are you in any worries or concern that we maybe CZ is going to go through these lawsuits, or it's going to have some big effect on BNB, or do you think it's going to come out pretty much like XRP did?
I think that it's going to be kind of along the same lines of XRP, honestly, because it's their chain native. Initially, when BNB was created, it was just their exchange token, right? So, and it was used to lower the fees you paid on their trading platform, kind of like the MX token over on the Mexi exchange,
right?
And they built it out. And so they can go with the same kind of arguments that XRP did, where it's utility based, right? It wasn't sold as investment vehicles, not as securities. It's not blah, 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 blah. So personally, I don't think that much is going to come of it. If anything, they might get a fine, but it's not like CZ can't pay that fine.
Yeah, he's not hurting for funds right now.
No, he's not. He's not. And we actually this week finally hit more inflow into stable coins, meaning money coming into the space, than there's been outflow since the bear market began.
Ooh.
So it was a red letter week, and that means the total market cap of crypto has been growing again instead of shrinking.
Gotcha. And now I've seen some of these things on, I mean, we hear about them all the time. Like right now, Caspa is one of the big ones that's being pumped out everywhere. It's like, oh my God, it's going to the moon and all that. Why is it that some of these cryptocurrencies, whatever the reason, short of just mad insanity, why do some seem to grow much faster on a short burst of time? Is it just about popularity, or is there something else out there we should be looking for?
It really does come down to how well do they market. If it's a half decent idea, if you market it well, it'll do well. But what a lot of those ones are doing is they're actually getting VC backing. There's a lot of protocols I've been seeing lately that have been going, like they'll come out with like a product or something and they'll go through actual VC funding for it. They'll get investments from the networks themselves, like Matic grants and things like that. And that generally means they're going to market really well. They're going to get a lot of eyes on them who are going to see, oh, they're VC backed. I feel safer about buying this. And so they'll buy with more people will buy, and it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle because people will FOMO into something that is green, especially during bear markets, right? So we're seeing a lot of that right now. People will latch onto one thing and FOMO into it. I saw one project where they actually went on a run after going sideways for the longest time, simply because one person decided to do a pretty decent sized buy, and due to the nature of liquidity pools, it shot the price up. And so then everyone started buying it, and then everyone's like, all right, so we all bought it. What are we doing here? I have no idea what's happening, but we're here. And I was just like, oh.
And the first guy says, okay, sell. I'm done.
Yep. And then everyone panic sells.
Right. Okay. And that makes sense. And that's one of those things that I definitely want to take a moment to warn everybody is, just because everybody's buying doesn't mean you should. Do some research, dive in, see what you got going there. But it's one of those on the marketing. I got to say, on that marketing piece, Cyril, that's a great time to interject. Guys, if you're enjoying this stream and the information we give you, do us a huge favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and tell your friends about us. Because our entire purpose is to help everyday working class person make themselves a better life. Just a few dollars at a time.
Yep.
Okay, so with that said, what you said earlier, by the way, Cyril, about you really liked BNB, it's kind of a good thing.
Oh.
You ready for the votes?
Yes, let's see what the community voted for.
You're going to love this one.
What are we buying this week?
A whole lot of BNB, brother. Oh, yes. So our blue chip, you guys voted on BNB almost unanimously. It was a great vote there. BTC was up there, but BNB took it. But What really surprised me was the DeFi. So you guys didn't want any DeFi. You want more blue chips.
Interesting. Okay. So that's definitely going to increase our BNB wedge. But that's a good thing because we feel, I guess, collectively very bullish on BNB long term, right? So, hey, instead of keeping it as USDC or something like that, we're putting it into something that we feel is going to grow. And we use BNB to buy other things. So, yeah, it's a good plan. I guess we're buying instead of buying $5 of the blue chip and $20 of a DeFi, I guess we're buying $25 worth of BNB.
Yep, that's it. And no, I think it's a great choice. And I love the fact that the community did this, guys. This was not me or Cyril saying, hey, we need to do this and say now. One of you guys added this to it. And that's the great thing about the polling here is it's open poll. You can put whatever you want. And if the community backs you, you win the vote. That's the way it works. So thank you. Because I think that was an awesome twist. And I thought it was great when I looked at that. I'm like, that's brilliant, man. We should have thought about that, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, right. And I have a sneaky suspicion that I know who put that vote there. But, I don't want to out them if they are indeed the one who did it.
I can take a couple guesses, but I won't.
A certain electrician, maybe.
Yeah, but
not that electrician.
Right.
I always forget that the camera's flipped and you're not actually on that side. You're over there on that side.
I know it's confusing. I don't remember you're over here, but really when I'm looking, yeah. Which way did he go, George? And so, I mean, that's one of the biggest things here, guys. On Rags to Riches, we're not only trying to teach you strategic investing, how to do it safely, as well as thought process, emotional control, all these, but also we're giving you guys the power, but without risking your own funds. So you can, yeah, his money. You're over there. But that's really important because we want to educate, we want to teach, we want to guide, and we don't want you to feel like, well, I have to give up this much money to do it. No, you don't. I have to pay for it. No, you don't. The only thing you have to pay is hit the thumbs up. That's it. Preferably, if you tell a friend, bring some more people in here because we are trying to grow this community. And the more people, the more power, the bigger we get, the stronger we are, the wiser we are.
Indeed. Indeed. And as always, if you have a question and you're watching this video later, or maybe you're in the audience today and you do have a question about something we talked about, maybe you got a question about a pattern, maybe, I kind of skimmed over something you wanted to know more about, join the Discord for Down Home Crypto. Feel free to ask. You can even tag me. It's super easy. I'm just at Cyril Keir, right? Same username everywhere. So, but yeah, join. Ask your question and get involved.
Absolutely. And Cyril, as always, brother, I want to thank you for the knowledge, information, and just great experience. Together we're having a blast and we're making profits. We're doing good. I love it. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank everybody who tunes in and listens to us ramble for about an hour on Thursdays. And, without you guys doing what you do, we wouldn't really have a reason to do what we do. So.
Very well said, sir. And yes, thank you to everybody in the audience for always tuning in because, like Cyril said, without you guys, we got nothing to do. We can talk to each other all the time, but this makes it special. And that's because you guys are here and you're on this journey with us. So thank you. Okay, till next week, guys. Stay safe. Catch you next week.